Greetings YouTube and Diablo Immortal fans. Trobane Gaming here. Going to be showcasing a Necromancer build. I don't always play Necromancer, don't usually play Necromancers actually. So, don't go to this for maximum DPS, don't look at it for the green set. However, with some of the new essences that are out there, I want to show one of the best raid builds as far as like on paper that you can get. This raid build is assuming that you're playing with other players who are about the same power as yourself. And let's go ahead and get into looking at some of the skills and whatnot here. Again, don't pay attention to the green side. Have your best stuff over there. You guys know how to play that. But what we're going to be using is the helmet for Grim Scythe, now allowing it to slice through some armor, and everything's going to be taking a 19% extra damage while this is active. Alright, that's going to be great. Again, that's going to be on the boss. Let's continue with Grim Scythe real quick while we're on this. Going to be a primary, allowing Grim Scythe to empower your primary attack, and it's going to unleash scythes. It's going to drop corpses. This is also what's going to continually do this 19% damage taken debuff. Alright, that's a buff you're going to have, so you probably want at least a 2-piece V-through, which I've equipped over there to showcase this. Next, we're going to go and take a look at the corpses that are going to drop. Now, as far as like the skills you're going to have, Corpse Lance is going to be one of the great skills because you're going to have one slot left. So that one slot, go ahead and put it on Corpse Lance and then use this one. We'll show what this does for Corpse Lance. Normally you get 3 lances, each doing 20, or for myself 22.1, so each doing some damage. But with this one, you're going to get 4 lances. Yes, it says no longer a target enemy, but when you're in raids, you only have one boss, so you don't have to worry about that. Every now and then there's some ads that spawn. Again, not a big deal. This is just because you have corpses on the ground, you have one extra skill, and you don't have anything to buff that skill, except for this. So this is going to deal a lot of extra damage to that single target boss. 4 lances instead of 3, and about 10% extra damage. Or I'm sorry, not 10%, but about 33% extra damage, about a third extra damage there. Quite a bit more damage from that Corpse Lance. So getting back into the build, that's going to be your offhand for Corpse Lance. And like I said, that's just one of the only other offhands you could use. We're going to have a Golem. The reason we're going to have a Golem is Corrosive Slab is going to let that Golem make the enemy vulnerable. So not only is it going to be taking 19% from your Scythe, it's going to be taking another 15% while your Golem's active. What Golem are we going to use? The Poison Golem. We'll get to that one in a moment, because the Poison Golem is actually going to make him take more damage. Now, the Golem making him take more damage is great. We're also going to buff our allies. Again, assuming you're not well carrying everybody, if you are, go to a different build, go to a different YouTube channel, and look at a Necromancer build that's great damage. That's what you'll want to take. But if you're in a raid that you're not the top, if you're even lesser, if you're just trying to survive and you're under CR, this will help buff all the wells, all your friends. And if you live through the hits, then you're going to be super helpful. This helps live through the hits. It helps you and your party. All right, parting gift. It's going to allow you to have 5 charges of damage immunity. That's huge. If you're paying attention and dodging, this will get you through most of the raids out there. All right, bone armor, increased critical hit chance. While the 5 charges are on you and your party members, everybody's critical hit chance is going to go up, along with their attack speed. Alright, this is key. These 2 are going to buff your party. Now we'll go ahead and look at the skills. So the bone armor, as I said, you're going to be casting this and buffing your party. 5 charges, damage immunity. So people are living longer, and the people that are living longer are going to be doing extra damage. Most classes in this game, their primary attack is almost 50%, if not more, of their damage. So being that it increases your attack speed by 28.5%, and I just said it's about 50% of total damage, let's just cut that in half and say 14. If you have a Crusader running the critical hit banner with like Arrow Keeper, then that top number, that 14% critical hit chance, becomes a straight 14% extra damage. That 14, and again, half of 28.5, round down a little bit, and 14 there, that's 28% extra damage that your entire party is doing. 4 players doing 28% extra damage right there from one buff. Let's go over to the Golem. The Golem, when it's hitting and its active ability, when you summon it plus it's active, it's going to do 10%. The monster is going to take 10% from the entire raid, not just your party, the entire raid. Now the slab is going to make it take an extra 15.2%. So we have another 25% damage from the entire raid going out there. 25%, 28%, as long as you have the Crusader running the banner. Okay? Now, get this. We're going to pop over to here, Grim Scythe. It's going to do its thing, and you're doing another 19% debuff. So you take 19%, 28%, 25%. You're looking at 72% extra damage that the boss is taking. 72%. No other class in the game can give 72% extra damage. Amazing. And then whatever primary you want. And again, because this is putting out so many corpses, pop that corpse lance in there for some extra DPS. Now, we're going to see how long the bone armor lasts. You saw I didn't have the extended duration on it. All I'm having is a Vithus. I don't even have the Blessed Pebble. With the 2-piece Vithus, you're going to have plenty of duration in the bone armor. That's great. The Golem will go down eventually, but for the most of these raids, it's going to last, and it's going to keep doing its damage. This is a buff. If you run a 4-piece Vithus, then you can use that and that, the armor and the weapon attack, as a buff. Okay? So, let's go show you this buff. I don't want the Golem really hitting it. I don't want a lot of extra stuff going off. I just want to showcase the buff of the Scythe. So, as I have my attack speed and my critical hit or whatever, I pop the buff on, and now look. You see that? That big scythe that's hitting? That big scythe is dropping all those corpses, and you can eat them up. You can eat up all those corpses. All those corpses. You can eat up one corpse, you can eat up a few corpses, whatever. So, when you're running all this on here, it's going to have all those debuffs on the target, and you're going to be able to put out a good amount of damage, which I didn't even start out with the full damage going on the thing, but you can already see them over 1 million catching up to that damage. You're going to be able to put out a good amount of damage, and I'm not even my green gear is not even the right gear. So for the people to play Necromancers, I believe this is probably going to be the best raid build you have out there. If you have anything else to input on it, go ahead and let us know. Let everybody on the Necromancer side know. And once again, this is Trobane Gaming. Happy hunting.